What's going on, guys? MDLP from the Battle Axe, the Strongman gym in Miami, where strength is everything. I'm making an early morning video. It's 9 o'clock. It's not really early. I've been up since 5:30ish. But I have my Cuban coffee, so jacked up, liquid crack. Kind of a topic that's been talked about often. I made a video about it anyway. But I guess this is kind of how it relates to strongman. So this is really a strongman bias video. But I think that there's a lot of strongman out there, and there's a lot of people interested in strongman and benching, and how benching relates to strongman. Now, if you see a lot of my videos, and you should, I bench a lot. I love benching. I use it as a main movement sometimes. But what is my focus? If I am training for a strongman show, then I'm not going to bench a lot. You see me using my bench more as an accessory movement. You're going to see a little bit more repetitions, and you're going to see maybe just more like tap and goes, use a slingshot, accommodating resistance, use a lot of bands and chains, because I feel that the bench is a very athletic movement, and using chains and bands and boards, different kind of bars, pause pressing, etc. builds your athleticism. That's why my first reason why I bench is that it's an athletic movement. That's why athletes still bench. That's why football players, rugby players, all sorts of people still bench, because it's still very athletic, especially if done in the powerlifting, back pinch kind of thing. Then it's very essential for athleticism. Number two, I use it as an accessory movement in season. So currently I'm training for Brevard's Strongest Man in Melbourne on the 17th. So about 7 weeks ago, 7 weeks out or so, I stopped. I stopped using it as a main movement. Just before that, I was training for a powerlifting competition as well. So yes, I was benching singles, doubles, heavies, pause pressing, learning my openers. I tweaked my back, couldn't really do the powerlifting thing. And then about 6, 7 weeks out, just started focusing on this show. So it started becoming an accessory movement, meaning my second pressing day is Thursday. And I'll still do a main movement, maybe continental for speed or a log strict press, etc. Then I'll jump on the bench instead of bench being my first movement. It's not always like that, but it is. And that's why I put on my singlet, because I look good in my little onesie. But number two is to make sure I'm keeping my butt down, and that if I'm doing the bench, I'm doing it right. If that butt comes off the bench, it's not a rep. Number three, I think that it's fun. I love benching. I fucking love to bench. I don't know. I know some people love doing dumbbell curls, and they fucking will do dumbbell curls to the day they die. Some people like doing zerkers, and some people love doing deadlifts, and they'll deadlift every fucking day of their lives. I love benching. I think it's a great way of keeping your strength. I think it's a great way of keeping your athleticism, and I love the movement. After hating it for a very long time, hold on a second. It's good. I started to fall in love with the movement. I love using the slingshot overload, reverse bands. I think it's a great way to train general athleticism. I like powerlifting as well. I know the strongman is, I suppose it's the love of my life. It's a sport that I focus on the most, but it doesn't mean that I don't like powerlifting, that I'm not a powerlifter, that I don't love just benching and being strong in general. This is not my advice to you. This is just why I bench for strongman, and as an individual, I love it. I know that I'm going to catch some heat for this from some people, because they don't really believe in benching, and that's cool. I agree to disagree. I can see where you guys are coming from and why benching is relatively useless in some ways, but I don't think it is. I think it's essential for general athleticism, for fitness, and for strength. Now, here's the fourth thing I'm going to say. And I really want to implement this. I'm not very strong, all right? I'm not very strong. And I've seen strength, and I'm like a small squirrel, like a baby squirrel with like a broken little paw in the world of strength. I'm like not fucking strong at all. My biggest strength is my athleticism and my looks. That being said, I need to get stronger. So in my base of strength, I still need to develop my muscles. I have been lifting pretty heavy for about 6, 7 years. That's not a lot, man. I've obviously been coached by a lot of people since I was 14, But for me to say 6, 7 years of true strength training is what I would say I have right now. Um, of heavy, different reps, different programs, percentages, ever since I started fighting, etc. Even some in college, so maybe 6, 8 years, but nothing as serious as the last, whatever years. That being said, I need to develop my base strength. I'm still developing the base of my strength in for any sport, for just general strength in life. Nothing that for sport specific. I just want to be strong in life. And I feel like the bench press is essential for life. So is overhead pressing, so is pushing, so is pulling. These are some of the movements that you train for general sports like rugby, whatever, because I'm still consider myself a pretty well-rounded strength and just an athlete in general. So I think that's very important to keep that kind of stuff for me because I'm still not very strong. Now, should I focus on other movements? Absolutely, I still do. I still overhead press a lot. It's one of my weaknesses. I still pull a lot. I'm not a really good puller. I just have a big heart and I want to win. I want to kill myself out there. It's one of my strengths, my mindset. But my physicality is nothing compared to the guys at nationals, and I understand this. So I think as I grow as an athlete on the personal level, that I'll probably start benching a lot less and start doing more implement training. And I know this for a fact because my training program has changed in the year. Man, I'm using my hand a lot. What's going on here? I'm Hispanic account, Hispanic Viking. You can see that from the first year I evolved a lot more powerlifting and less implement training because my body could not recover from the implement training like it can now. I would do a log press and be shot for like 3 days. I would lift stones and I'd be out for a week. In a sense, like I would still train, but not as much. So I would continue to use this these powerlifting stuff. And as I got better and stronger and I started competing more, my movements became much more strongman oriented. So more implements, less barbell movements, unless I needed the barbell movements, which I do, but less things that are not strongman. And as I get better and stronger, obviously I think I'm going to do even more strongman and less barbell movements, at least I'm training for like a powerlifting show. And I see a lot of guys that are in the game for 10, 15 years who are strongman, all they do is pretty much some strongman movements, and that's it. They barely do accessory work. They barely do anything else because they're so fucking strong. But you're looking at guys who've been lifting for 10 plus years. They don't have to do shit. They can literally take a vacation for 3 months, hop on there, and they're still going to squat more than you. So I think as in a sense of somebody building, building strength and, just in general stuff, it's a good movement to keep for strongman. This is my opinion. So number 1, general athleticism. Number 2, I don't remember. So, I don't remember what I said. Just rewind the motherfucker and remember what I said. But definitely one, it's definitely fun. And, I think it's a great movement to build strength and base. So, keep those things in mind. It's a long, kind of a lengthy video. But this is just my opinion. See if you guys do it. I program it into a lot of my training. Always open for critique and conversation. I love people disagreeing with me. And I love learning. So, hope this helps you guys out there who are beginning to do some strongman and, incorporate the bench and everything. So, cheers.